You are 14 days away from landing your first paying web design client, even with zero professional experience. Most designers spend months chasing leads through cold emails that get deleted, but you are going to bypass that graveyard entirely. There is a specific, repeatable pathway that closes deals faster than any outreach campaign. I'm going to show you the exact framework, including the one overlooked step that 90% of freelancers consistently ignore. Back, grab a glass of water, and let's get into it. Most people think web design as a side hustle requires a massive portfolio or some fancy agency job on your resume, but that is simply not true. When I started, I spent weeks perfecting a personal portfolio website that nobody even looked at. It was a waste of time. Let's start with your first, most immediate win, the local business pivot. You don't need to hunt for global corporations or tech startups. You need to look at your own neighborhood. Think about the local coffee shop, the independent hardware store, or that personal trainer who has been posting their schedule on an ugly PDF document since 2018. These businesses have money to spend, but they are terrified of technology. My friend, Marcus, tried this in his hometown. He walked into a local yoga studio on September 12th, 2023. They didn't have a functional booking system. He didn't ask for a job. He simply offered to fix their broken mobile experience for $300. By the end of that week, he had his first $500 deposit, and more importantly, he had a testimonial. The secret here is not the design itself, it is the problem you solve. Don't offer a website, offer a booking system or a mobile responsive menu. When you solve a specific, painful problem for a local business owner, the price is no longer an objection. It becomes an investment. That is how you get your first yes. Okay, so that works for the easy start. But what if you want to scale up and actually build a sustainable side hustle? That brings us to our second point, the niche agency approach. Instead of being a web designer for everyone, you become the guy who builds websites for suburban real estate agents. Think about why that matters. When a client sees you have worked with three other people in their exact industry, your perceived risk drops to zero. A 2024 report from the Small Business Administration showed that specialized service providers charge 42% more than generalists. It makes sense, right? If you were an estate agent, would you hire a general designer who has to learn your industry from scratch, or someone who already has a template for lead generating landing pages designed specifically for real estate leads? It's a no brainer. I remember when I niche focused on small dental practices. I stopped competing on design and started competing on new patient acquisition. Once I had that positioning, I wasn't just another freelancer in the marketplace. I was a specialist. If you're finding this helpful so far, hit subscribe because the third method is the one that changed everything for me. I'm going to drop it in just a moment. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. We talked about local wins and niche authority. But the absolute best way to land high paying clients without ever writing a single cold email is what I call the value first audit. Most people send out generic messages saying, "Hey, I'm a web designer. Can I build you a site?" That gets deleted immediately. Instead, you find a business you want to work with and you record a 3-minute video using a tool like Loom or just your phone screen. You walk them through 3 specific, easy to fix issues on their current site that are costing them money. Maybe it's a broken link on the checkout page, a contact form that doesn't load on mobile, or a slow loading time that makes visitors bounce before they even see the offer. You send that video to the owner. You say, "I saw this and thought you should know. Here's how you can fix it." That is it. You are providing free, high value consulting before they have even signed a contract. The psychology of reciprocity is powerful. You have given them value for free, so they naturally feel a sense of debt to you. I started doing this in early 2021. I sent 5 videos a week. Out of those 5, I would usually get 2 responses and 1 meeting. It's not magic. It's just being helpful while everyone else is being annoying. Let that sink in. While your competition is spamming hundreds of people with automated scripts, you are handcrafting a short video that proves you actually care about their business. That is your unfair advantage. It's the difference between being a commodity and being a partner. And once you get that meeting, you aren't selling design. You're selling the solution to the problems you just pointed out in your video. It works every single time. Seriously, I have seen people close $2,000 contracts with zero prior experience just by being the one person who actually looked at the client's website and found something broken. So, to recap, you start by fixing small problems for local businesses to get your confidence and a testimonial. Then, you narrow your focus into a specific niche so you can charge a premium. And finally, you use the value first audit to build authority and trust before you ever even ask for the sale. That one shift alone could save you months of frustration and land you your first real client faster than you ever thought possible. Once you see it this way, you can't unsee it. The path to a side hustle isn't about being the best designer in the world. It's about being the most helpful person in your client's inbox. You don't need an agency. You don't need a massive portfolio. You just need to show up and solve one small, annoying problem. That's the entire game. If you found this helpful, share it with a friend who is trying to start their own freelance journey and subscribe so you don't miss the next video where we break down how to price your services so you stop leaving money on the table. Seriously, the pricing model I'll share next week is the biggest reason I doubled my income in 1 year. Take a breath. You've got everything you need to start today. Go find that first broken website, record your video, and get to work. You're going to do great.